it gave him tremendous amounts of understeer, and he qualified slower than he had hoped.
Battle for 5th place as Robbie Gordon now closes on Mario Andretti. Mario, the Texaco car there. He has a red roll bar. Look at this. Nigel Mansell comes up and very quickly overhauls Paul Tracy. He has now won every race computed on a 1-mile track. Let's see if he can do it with this win here today.
Well, so he took 2 or 3 or 4 laps to settle everything down, but he has dragged Villeneuve along with him. So is Tracy slowing down, having shown tremendous pace in those opening 3 or 4 laps.
Is he showing patience now? Is this a new Tracy that knows that he doesn't have to lead in the early going?
Well, showing patience and slowing down are 2 different things here. Emerson comes down under Villeneuve.
Emerson tries on Villeneuve, doesn't get the job done, but he's right there and beginning to worry, the young Canadian. 23 years old yesterday. Currently running in 3rd place. Then Fittipaldi, then Gordon. You saw all of them together.
And of course, everybody expected Michael Andretti to be the leader in the new Reynard camp on these ovals, but it was Villeneuve, who Barry Green speaks so highly of for his engineering ability and feel for this car at such a tender young age. He said a definite star of the future.
Now everybody at the front of the field having to overhaul the back of the field. One of the problems, you're getting a hint of it here. It is very windy. In fact, there are gusty wind warnings in the Valley of the Sun, the Phoenix area, and it's been blowing debris and sand onto this racetrack.
Look at Villeneuve. Now, he said after qualifying his biggest problem will be dealing with traffic. He has never had to do this before in cars this big and this fast. So he is on a huge learning curve here. But I'll tell you what, he is learning fast.
Back onto the main stretch. As he continues to hold off a charging Emerson Fittipaldi. On Beekus, you have an update on Villeneuve.
Well, yes, we do. We speak with Barry Green, and he gave us a thumbs up. He said it looks like all the work we did till the late hours last night had paid off. He's happy with the car. Right now, as you're talking about, he's gaining lots of experience at the front.
Now this, despite the fact that they don't have all the poke, how high he gets there and then chops off the corner. Nice piece of driving, just keeping the car off the wall and staying in front of Fittipaldi. They don't have all the pieces on this car they would have liked. They had some special pieces for here at Phoenix, and they were damaged in that crash.
Now that move there that you just saw by Jacques Villeneuve shows the confidence he has in the car. He pulled high round the outside of John Paul in the Team Losi car and had the confidence that that car had the grip all the way around the outside. Very brave move. We're with Robbie Gordon now.
5th place car looking forward.
That's John Paul
Jr. just in front of him, and here comes little Al.
So Al made the move. He had the patience, he stayed and he waited, but look at Gordon round the outside.
Oh, as they split the difference, little Al holds a position, stays in 5th place. Boy, these are great races.
This is what you get on oval track racing. Traffic and high speed, almost freeway trains running down through here. But Al Jr. has made the pass now. He's in clear air. Can he catch up to that leading pack? He's currently in 5th place.
Paul Tracy just ticked off his 19th lap. Nigel Mansell came across as the leader on lap 19. So we've had 2 leaders here in the first 20 miles. First Paul Tracy and then Nigel Mansell taking over. Tracy's running the fastest laps thus far, averaged about 157 miles an hour, but his quickest lap has been at 166.7.
There's teammates. Robbie Gordon on the high side of Woody T-Ribs. Derek Walker said they had a big leash on Robbie Gordon this weekend because there's been a lot of damage done. But on a 1-mile oval, his best position, best finish so far has been 4th at Nazareth.
Not yet made a podium finish. Robbie Gordon and Jim Vassar. Keep an eye on that number 18 car. He has been solid in the first 2 races. Well, we're in the second race, but he was solid in the practice for this one and had a great showing in Australia. He was 3rd here last year. Mario Andretti, he continues to run, but he's falling through the field now 9th. Gary Gerald, is there a problem?
Apparently there is. They think that there's low tire pressure on one of the tires, and that's what Mario has radioed into the crew. The man in his 42nd start here at Phoenix finding some early difficulty. I don't know if they're going to have to bring him in early. They'll hope for a yellow. They can get a chance to get to the pits, Paul.
Low tire pressures may mean only 1 or 2 pounds. These cars are so sensitive. On the Penske's, the drivers can feel ride height changes of 25 thousandths of an inch.
In third place, it's two teammates. Paul Tracy in second, Fittipaldi in third, followed by Villeneuve. There's Fittipaldi as he runs alone right now, but Villeneuve has been moving up, challenging from moment to moment, and then drops back. Take a look at the back of the cowling of that car. We'll tell you a bit more about this later. The new shark fin on the new Penske's has some aerodynamic effect on the car, though, as Gary Gerbel will tell you a little bit later. They're not talking very much about it, and everybody just has to guess. Now Fittipaldi closes on Tracy. And Tracy may be trapped. No, Fittipaldi can't get it done. They both move to the outside.
That's Matsushita. He moves down to the inside, and the biggest problem for Fittipaldi is Matsushita can see Tracy. Fittipaldi hopes that he also sees him, because if he goes for the gap, Matsushita better just stay exactly where he is, which he did.
Remember Paul Tracy, that great race in New Hampshire last year with Mansell? He's finished second and third in the last two oval races. This is the fight for second, and look who they're overhauling. That's Bobby Rahal, Honda Power. He runs 18th. His teammate is 17th, just ahead of him, Mike Roth. Any idea what the Honda problem might be as we watch them there? They're still in development?
Well,
short on horsepower.
There is no doubt it is very short on horsepower. They are in a huge development period at the moment. Remember, it took 6 years just to get them into IndyCar racing. They understand what it takes to build a competitive engine, but it shows you how difficult this series is. The might of Honda struggles so much even at this early stage.
And a car up against the wall. We've got our first yellow on lap 27. Field, boy, look at him trying to chop through. A couple people got debris. That's Willie T. Ribbs. Willie T. is a rookie at this track, and I don't think he was comfortable with this track. He's looking around in the cockpit, so it appears that he's okay. Now he climbs out. The field will slow. The yellow comes out on leader lap 28.
One of the drivers who had a very looser oversteer condition all weekend here and never quite got comfortable. So yet another one of Derek Walker's cars. Remember, Mark Smith had a heavy crash, but Mansell takes the opportunity to come into the pit lane.
Under the yellow, the leader of the race, car 1. Red number 1 now. Nigel Mansell comes in. And the rest of the field stays out and is gathered up. That'll put Paul Tracy. And
he stalls it.
He stalls it. They've got to get him back now. He's going to lose the position. He may lose the lap.
Now there's the gamble beginning to run away from him. He took the gamble. Mario's in. Villeneuve passes him.
And look at this. There comes the lead of the race around. Tracy and Fittipaldi behind the pace car. The blend line's going to be real important. How is that situated here, Derek?
Well, you'll see it right now. As you come back out onto line, on the back straight, if you're ahead of the blend line before the pace car gets around, you can filter into the line, as Villeneuve does right there. Now, Fernandez, if he'd have moved up, Villeneuve would have to keep going all the way back. So you depend on a bit of professional courtesy. You know, when you're the leading cars in the races, you tend to get more professional courtesy.
All right, Mansell stalls on that pit stop. Piece of strategy being played there. Let's get an update.
Well, what happened, Paul, was Tom Wirtz was at the front of the car trying to put another turn into the front wing. He had radioed in. He wanted more downforce on the front, but yet he was anxious to get out. So Tom jumped in front, tried to go for a turn. Nigel was a little too anxious and then killed it.
So the field now circulating behind Johnny Rutherford, the driver of the PPG pace car. Nigel Mansell took a chance, dropped through the field. Of course, it may pay off later. He's right now being scored in 12th place. Back at at the Slick 5200 Phoenix International Raceway. Under our first yellow of the day, the leader, Paul Tracy, has completed 32 laps. And here's the way they're lined up behind the pace car under the yellow. You ride on board with Michael Andretti, who is not having his best day. He is a lap behind the leader, running in 14th place. The first 9 cars, that's through Jimmy Vasser in the order, are on the lead lap. But because of that blend line, people like Bobby Rahal, Villeneuve, Mansell are a lap behind the leader. Let's go to Gary Gerould.
Interesting strategy in the Penske pit, Paul. Roger Penske, with 3 cars, of course, elects to bring in Al Unser Jr., a 10-second stop for fuel and 4 tires. They've left both Tracy and Fittipaldi out there now. It's a bit of a gamble, but we'll see if they get another opportunity before lap 64 to duck in.
Very well, as you look at Roger Penske, they're always innovative and work with it. Along with the new chassis and engines entering the field for the '94 season, Gary Gerould explores how some teams are making additional aerodynamic improvements.
Since the start of the racing season in Australia, the new Penske chassis has undergone an intriguing revision with the addition of this vertical shark-like fin that's been incorporated into all of the rear bodywork. Now, for obvious reasons, designer Nigel Bennett's a little reluctant to talk about its specific purpose, but here's what he has told us. It was first introduced into the wind tunnel in December. It has undergone private testing on a limited basis by the Penske team, but based on those tests, they've made a decision that they're going to incorporate this rear body work at all future racing events, including super speedways and road courses. As for the specific purpose, we've got to rely on the speculation of other aerodynamicists and engineers from opposing race teams. Because of a rules change this year that's eliminated some of the downforce in the new chassis, the cars have had a tendency to become a little twitchy, particularly in the corners. The other engineers think that this fin helps stabilize the car and allows it to track better and more effectively through the corner. The other theory prevails with the air that rushes back over the cockpit is spoiled here by the driver's head and comes tumbling back. They think that this fin splits the air into 2 smaller forces to get more effective downforce from the rear wing. That's the speculation and the conjecture. Now we're about to find out in competition if the Penske team has indeed uncovered a true speed secret.
Well, I think Rick Mears and the Penske team may have figured something out. At the moment, at least, their cars run first and second with Paul Tracy as the leader of the race. We're still under yellow. See the IndyCar safety team and the track workers are out trying to get the mess cleaned up from Willie T. Ribbs' crash. He climbed out of the car. He is okay, but we continue under yellow with 37 laps into the record book as we look down from the Goodyear Blimp Eagle based in Carson, California. Today's pilot is John Creighton, who lives in Redondo Beach. It gives you some great shots as it floats so lazily in this bright blue sky over Phoenix International. Now, let's try and set the way they are lined up, remembering that some people have stopped and some have not. They're the first 6 positions. Of those, Al Unser Jr. has made a stop. Now notice here, once you get to Rahal, after 9th place Jimmy Vasser, everybody is a lap behind the leader, including some key names like Villeneuve in 11th and Mansell in 12th. Everybody else is a lap behind the lead, so that will become critical. But here's the other side of the story. Paul Tracy, Emerson Fittipaldi, Robbie Gordon, Dominic Dobson, Mike Groff, the guys at the top of the order have not yet stopped. They're gambling that something else will happen then, Derek.
That's right. That's why it will be another probably 20 or 25 laps worth of fuel. Bozell obviously decides to make his stop and comes back out in the Duracell Dick Simon entry. But there's about 20 more laps of fuel left in those Penskes. Then this whole pit stop scenario will begin to even itself out.
Well, Willie T. Ribbs, a service merchandise car into the wall here today in practice. The Craftsman car of Mark Smith into the wall. He's okay. Both owned by Derek Walker, who right now is with Gary.
Well, indeed, he's up in the scoring stand. We're just saying had a tough weekend with the Mark Smith crash, and then now Willie, you're here in Robbie Gordon's pit. You've got one guy running strong third. Was it a difficult decision to keep him out, or how much are you gambling by doing that, Derek?
Well, the car's running pretty good right now, so we don't want to get out of sequence unnecessarily. We want to try on stay on our schedule. So we're going to hang in there just like a few of the other guys and gamble it and run, as fast as we can while we're running good, rather than make a change at this stage.
Having 3 cars has proved to be very tough already early in the season. I hope that checkbook's got a couple more digits there.
Well, yeah, you got 3 cars. You can always guarantee one of them is having a tough day, but they're doing a good job, and we'll be back at Long Beach with all 3 again.
Glad to see that smile always from Derek Walker. Thank you, Derek. Let's go to Jan Beekes.